This is Run It Back with RJ Broadhead.
The Tiger Cats lost to the Argonauts. Feels like we've done this show before. We'll do something a little different this time. Welcome to Run It Back. I'm RJ Broadhead. The Argos swept the four-game regular season series with that 29-14 win on Saturday. They got off to a great start again. The Argos scored a field goal on their opening drive, followed by a pick six by Wynton McManus on the Ticats' first possession. It was 10-0 5 minutes into the game, and in all four games this season, the Argos have had a double-digit lead at halftime. The Tiger Cats will have to get off to a better start if they meet again, and if they do, that meeting would be the East Final. Hey, if you're going to win one, that's the one to win. The Tiger Cats had a couple of positives. Second-year receiver Kiondre Smith had the best game of his career. More on that coming up. First, Simoni Lawrence had 3 tackles to give him 723 in his career. That puts him 10th all-time in CFL history. All the great players, and Simoni Lawrence is number 10 all-time. Here's Simoni on the magnificent milestone.
It's crazy when you think about it. Football's been around 150 years, so it's not normal.
I know you look at the list of all the greats and the thousands of players who have played the game, and you've made the top 10. Has it sunk in yet?
Not yet. I think I'm still in the dream right now, and I think that my goal is way more than that, so maybe when we get to 1,000 or something.
Okay, so your goal is more. You're 43 behind Greg Battle for 9th, 4 games to go. Is that attainable?
Hell yeah. We had 17 in one game before, you know. We can get to the ball for sure.
Absolutely. That record in Winnipeg, which was extremely impressive. When you go through your career, I know you're focused on the regular season and getting in the playoffs, but any games stand out? Any tackles stand out to you?
Not really. You think about the plays that you make. Winnipeg game always stands out just because that was against a really good Winnipeg team in Winnipeg. And, that was just nonstop football. I think, I had 17 tackles, but that game I had 20 defensive plays that game. So it was pretty crazy if, the percentage of defensive plays made by one person. So that was crazy, but,
Yeah, well, Sim, what happens in a game like that? Is it the ball's just finding you, or you just have a sense for it in a game like that whenever you seem to be involved in every play?
Nah, so, the way, football works for me at least, as soon as I make one play, I feel like I'm going to make every single play on the football field now. It's just, you just need to get that one play, preferably you get that one big play early in the game, and then you just know you're not going to be stopped. It's like the green light blinking. You just can't be stopped.
So now you've cracked the top 10 in all-time tackles. You lead the Hamilton Tiger Cats all-time in that category. How would a Grey Cup sound to go with those credentials?
That's all that's left. We really want this Grey Cup here in Hamilton this year, and we're doing anything we can to get there. We're putting in the overtime, doing whatever we can because that's all that matters is the Grey Cup right now.
So you passed Kevin Iben for 10th. He's the linebackers coach of the Argos. Did you wind up talking to him at all afterwards?
No, I didn't talk to him. He's in Blues, so I don't really talk to those guys. I talked to Kev way back in the day before he switched sides, but now that he switched sides, I don't really talk to anybody. I stay to myself.
The rivalry. So you've lost to them 4 times, and that leads me to believe that doesn't sit well with Simoni Lawrence.
Nah, I this whole season, it's been one of those seasons, but after that game, it was mad emotional. I was crying hysterically. I've never lost to Toronto like that. And, it just I felt a lot. I felt that one a lot, and, I'm just going to bottle that up and realize that everything's still in front of us. And if we handle our business, we'll get the opportunity to get the last laugh.
Absolutely, and the one game that matters, if you're going to win the East, you got to go to Toronto. You got 4 games to go, Simoni. What's the focus of the team? Is it to secure a home playoff berth? Is it to secure a playoff berth? What are you guys talking about?
The goal is to put ourselves in the best position to win the Grey Cup, and that's getting a home game. If we got to go to Montreal, we got to go to Montreal. But, we want a home game, a playoff game for our fans and for the management and for everybody that works so hard in this Tiger Cat organization. So, that's the goal for sure.
That goal is still attainable, especially with players like Kiondre Smith emerging as another weapon the Tiger Cats have on offense. His performance against Toronto was a great one. Kiondre has been a reliable receiver, but on Saturday he had a breakout game. He was targeted 13 times. He caught 9 passes for a whopping 156 yards. That included catches of 40, 30, and 29 yards. An impressive standout game for the 23-year-old. Here's Kiondre Smith on his big game.
That game ranks as, outside of the outcome, it was a good personal game, but it was something that I couldn't do done without the protection from the O-line and the ball from TP.
Was it the game plan going in to get you the ball more in this one?
I don't believe so. I think that's just the way the chips fell, and I got to make the most of every opportunity given to do the best for the team.
Do any of the catches stand out? You had a couple over 30 yards, one that was 29 yards, so there were some big ones in there.
Yeah, there was one that had a little bit of a stroke of luck at the end of it. I didn't know where it was going to go after it ricocheted, but it was within reach.
Yeah, it was a beautiful catch. One thing you've established, and we should talk about it more, is the reliability on second downs. You've got 5 straight games where you have at least 1 reception on second down. Is that something you pride yourself on, is being there for your quarterback?
I feel like that's something, of course, like most certainly I do pride myself on that. It's one of those things where when he needs a safety valve, when he needs to escape the pocket or create plays himself, I feel like he should always have an option somewhere he knows is going to be somewhere that's going to be an open space. So I try to be that for him.
And I've seen a few times where when he's freelancing out there and whatever play was drawn up is now over, you go right near that first down marker along the sideline. I've seen it a couple of times, so that must be your plan?
My plan is to find space, and usually they just leave space by the first down marker.
Oh, that's perfect. And you and Taylor are developing some chemistry. What have you seen in him? You're a young player as well, but seeing him develop over these last few games.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've seen phenomenal growth out of Taylor, and it's one of those things where it's not a stroke of luck, right? He's in early every day doing all the preparation work, working on his game, talking to us, being vocal. So it's one of those things that he's just maturing every week and getting better every week.
Your dad was honored by the Argos prior to the game. You had a special night. What did you guys talk about after the game?
We solely just talked about the game. We didn't talk about the honoring. We didn't talk about the loss. We didn't talk about the personal. We just kind of talked about life together.
So for you personally, getting a game like that under your belt, a 100-yard receiving game, 156-yard receiving game, does that give you confidence going forward?
I feel like confidence was something that I've always had, and it's not going anywhere, nor can it go anywhere. Whether I have a 100-yard game or a 10-yard game, that's not going to change. It's one of those things where my confidence goes up the more we win.
Wins are more important than ever, with 4 games remaining and still in need of securing a playoff spot. The Tiger Cats have played well lately. The Toronto Argonauts are the only team to beat them in their last 5 games. Next up is Calgary on Saturday at Tim Hortons Field. Pre-game show on the Ticats Audio Network starts at 6. Play-by-play with me and Luke is at 7.
This has been Run It Back with RJ Broadhead. If you like what you're hearing, give us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you find your audio content.